Welcome, I'm your host Joshua Lowe, and today I have Brandon with me. We're going to be talking about the MOLLE II backpacks and the Tex Sport Cliff Hanger 1 and the Tex Sport Trail 2-person, old school pup tent. So first and foremost, the MOLLE II backpacks, depending on where you look, can weigh anywhere from 7 pounds to 12 pounds. It really depends on who you're asking. And they carry approximately 4,000 cubic inches of gear. In terms of fit, they fit a wide variety of torsos because these were designed for the military, so they had to be able to fit people of all shapes and sizes. Now, the frame itself is a hard plastic frame, and it was kind of painful, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it didn't feel too good.
Yeah. Brandon here had the misfortune of having his hips bruised by the hip belt.
And didn't feel very good at all.
Is that really all you gotta say? All right. So the frame had a tendency to squeak as we were walking, and I was carrying a little bit more weight than Brandon, but his was still squeaking just as much as mine was. In this shot here, you'll see us trying to adjust the shoulder straps for him, which was kind of tricky. So you basically just pull a snap, and it just unhinged everything, and we had to figure out how to get it clipped back in on the fly, and it didn't seem to want to snap in. So we just put that snap back in place, and everything held until we got back. If I were to send a novice backpacker or a child out, this is not the pack I would choose because of its weight and because it is uncomfortable. That plastic frame really digs into your back. But for what it was made for, it was made to be durable, and it was made to carry a lot of weight. And this pack can definitely do both. It definitely has the durability. I've had the one that was issued to me for about 4 years now and haven't had a issue with any durability, and I can carry quite a bit of weight. The nice thing about the MOLLE II packs as well is that you can strap things on the outside or add other like military MOLLE type pouches to really customize your pack and carry even more gear and weight. Now we're going to talk about the Tex Sport Trail 2-person pup tent, which was actually Brandon's.
Yeah, it's really confined, kind of claustrophobic in there, trying to fit more than one person. It's fairly simple to assemble. Maybe a little frustrating trying to get the stakes to stay standing, but it's not too bad. Can be comfortable.
So his Trail 2-person tent weighs between 3 and 4 pounds. It really depends on the site that you're looking at. I was looking earlier. One site said it was 3.9 pounds. Another site said it was 3.5. So who knows? It's under 4 pounds. I know that. It felt really lightweight when I lifted it. And the one thing I would note is that the guy lines, when you pull them out, they kind of create like a flat surface on top of the tent, which if it rains, it'll pull water. But if you're familiar with these tents, typically you're going to take a tarp to like string out over top the tent in case of rain. This tent is made of taffeta. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. It's got like a polyurethane coating that's supposed to be water resistant, and it's supposed to be flame retardant. Now, I can't really speak to the flame retardant because I'm not exactly on the habit of setting tents on fire, but the night that we went, we had a high of 94% humidity. That is a lot of humidity, and when we woke up in the morning, his tent had dew both on the inside and the outside. So trying to climb out of the tent, he got water on the back of his hair and his head and on his shirt. So he was already wet waking up because all he did was sit up from his sleeping bag.
If I recall, we were damp when we woke up as well.
Yeah, that was from the moisture getting inside the tent and just dropping on us. Because I ended up staying in his tent, and I'm going to explain why. So now on to the Tex Sport Cliff Hanger 1. So this tent is lightweight. It weighs, I think Tex Sport claims 3.5 pounds as the carry weight. Now, it's supposed to be 76 inches long, and I'm not too sure that's true because I have a Kelty Mistral, which barely fit in the tent. So just having me in there, it would be kind of a confined fit, and none of my gear would be able to go in there. It does have a little gear loft in it, but again, that's not going to compensate for all my other gear being outside the tent and I guess in the elements. Although that's why we have rain covers, right? So one of the issues I've read about this particular tent is that the tent poles tend to crack. And Tex Sport doesn't exactly have the most stellar name in outdoor gear. So this is the second time this tent has been used. I had actually purchased it for my younger nephew as just a birthday gift, I guess, and I got it at a really discounted rate because it was already clearanced out and I had a gift card for the store. So this tent pole creaked and sounded like it was about to crack when I was setting it up, which is why I didn't end up sleeping in this tent. Now, it does have two places that vent, and when my nephew used it back in June, he didn't complain of any moisture being inside the tent, which is nice. It's fairly simple to put together. It has two poles. One goes all the way across the length of the tent, and the other kind of goes middle to middle. So it goes from the middle of the back of the tent up and intersects the tent at the top to create kind of like a half dome. We ended up using this tent just to hold our gear for this particular trip because, like I said, I heard the creaking, I've read the reviews about the cracking tent poles, and I was terrified that a heavy wind would come by in the middle of the night and just snap the pole and have it like fall and impale me. I know it's irrational, but it was a fear. Overall, it was a pretty nice trip. The packs, like I said, bruised Brandon. Mine was creaking a lot. What would you say? Would you recommend that tent to anybody if they were new or if it was for a scout?
Not for extended use, maybe for a couple or light usage, but I wouldn't use it very often or heavily. Might even be a waste of money, honestly.
I don't know if it'd be a waste of money. It runs relatively cheap to begin with. It's a very economically priced tent.
But the issue with the poles breaking, it's a concern.
Oh, I think we're talking about two different tents.
Apparently.
I was talking about your tent.
Oh, that one? Yeah. No, it's not bad. Not if you're claustrophobic, definitely not. But other than that, it's a pretty good tent.
All right, that's fair enough. I have to side with Brandon on the Cliff Hanger. I don't know if I would recommend this at the current price point because the tent poles do break fairly easily, according to the reviews I've read. However, I have found some sites online that you can order replacement poles for tents, and they're supposed to be a better quality, so that would be an option. But if you're going to do that, that's probably going to take you up to the price range of some of the lower priced Kelties or Columbias or the North Face tents. So overall, is kind of iffy, especially if you're buying this for a Scouts or a novice backpacker's first tent. Having a tent break on them right away, that's going to put a damper on any enthusiasm that they might have and potentially drive them away from the outdoors. That concludes this episode. I hope you tune in next week.